Welcome to Deer Talk Now. I'm Brad Rooks. Today I'm doing a solo, and it is all about gifts for the sportsman in your life. Christmas is right around the corner. You can see the tree. I'm going to start out with kind of like my stocking stuffers. And just so you guys know, this is literally all these products are stuff I really believe in. None of them are paying anything for us. Some of them are advertisers, some are not. But I'm going to start off with one that's brand new for this year, and that is the finger light. So what it is, it's literally a flashlight that goes on your finger light, and it sounds kind of corny. It kind of is like you'd never use it, but once you use it, I guarantee you're going to fall in love with it. Literally, if you're looking for stuff in your backpack, you can have it on. The light is literally on your finger, so you're not shining it all around. Walking into your deer stand, it's on your finger. It's just so convenient. I can't believe somebody didn't think of it for the hunting industry, but it's just not for the hunting industry. I'm working on my son's house. I'm like, this would be perfect when we're doing the plumbing, when you're working underneath the sink, because you're using your phone or a different type of light and you're shining it up there. Here, that light would have been right on my fingers where I want access to it. So the Dex Finger Light is a great product, plus they're great people as well. Another hot commodity here, this one's from Ozonics, and what it is a little ozone generator for your vehicle so you can kill all kinds of bacteria. Now, guys, just don't think of it for hunting, right? It's great to purify your vehicle for your hunting clothes or while you're hunting, but even during the off season, if your truck or vehicle's like mine, it starts to get smelly. There's stuff in there. You have the kids, stuff is spilt. This, if you plug it in there, let it run, it totally kills all the bacteria, just like the Ozonics unit does back at you out of a tree stand, but it kills everything in your vehicle, making it scent free. Again, it's going to smell good. Then you can put the air freshener in. If you're just using the air freshener, you're just doing nothing but covering the smell in your nose, because that kind of works as, like one of the scent products out there that just overstimulates your nose. So try to eliminate that scent. Another one here I got on the end here, which is, I got to open it up because this is one of the razor knives from Outdoor Ez, and it is called the Razor HTX. What I love about the razor knives is literally the blades come off, so I can have a sharp knife at any time. Now, the steel in these replaceable blades is good enough that you can sharpen them a couple times. What I like about this model is it's actually bigger. I like a pretty good sized knife when I'm field dressing. This one might be a little bit long, but it comes with a whole extra case with other blades, including the gut hook and a smaller blade for like caping or anything else. So this is going to be that all-purpose general knife that you can use anything, anytime you're dealing with animals, from caping, boning to field dressing. This knife does it all. Plus, Outdoor Edge, if you're familiar with them, makes a quality. These replaceable razor blades are extremely, extremely sharp. The next thing I have is pyro putty. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. I'm not going to reach across to grab it. But what it is a fire starting ability, and everybody should have this in your pack, because you just never know when something turns south on a hunt. I don't care if it's a day trip. I don't care what, but you could have a situation where you need a fire, where you need to warm up, hypothermia, all this other things. If you have a lighter and this pyro putty, I don't care if it is so wet outside, everything's super wet, you can get a fire going, because this is going to ignite it, and that'll give you a chance to dry out any kind of wood or flammable material enough so that the fire will get going. Pyro putty is great, especially if you're backpack, back country, hiking, backpacking, whatever it is. You should have this in your backpack, or literally even in your car. It's one of those products that could save your life. Next, I'm going to go into, up on top of there, is the Muddy hand warmer. And Muddy makes it, but there are multiple other companies that make it. And what it is a battery-operated hand warmer. What's really cool about it is it's got multiple settings. It can run, like extremely hot. but you can use it as a phone charger. This one also comes as a flashlight. So not only do I got a hand warmer in my pack at all times, I have an extra flashlight in my pack, and I can charge up my phone if I really need to, as long as I have the extra cord that runs from that to my phone. So it's one of those 3-in-1. If you're using it as a phone charger, you can get multiple charges out of it. If you're using it as a hand warmer on the low setting, I think it runs up to 16 hours. It's pretty amazing. Even on the hot setting, which is super hot. I mean, you literally have to have gloves on to be able to hold it when it's super hot. We're going to get a little bit more expensive now. These were all items that are well under $100. I have a Kill Drift, and I don't know where that system is, but Kill Drift is a unit. Basically, imagine a battery-operated heating pad. And what is cool is it does a cover scent, or it is good as an attractant. As a cover scent, he has a calming, like where it smells like a herd of deer, but as well as other popular pads from Acorn, Sweet Corn, vanilla. I'm just going off the top of my head. There's probably like 5 or 6 of different cover scents that you can use. And at the highest setting, again, it has 3 settings. Push it once, it's literally going to run for the day. If you push it up to 3 times, which is the highest setting, it will stay on for 4 hours. What's really cool about it is also can burn the popular mosquito pads that are out there that you can buy at almost any retailer. Put it on high, and now you have a mosquito repellent as well. We use it as an attractant, and I was amazed at how far deer were pulled in. We put it the first time early October, before the rut was really winding, really going. And in the week that we had it hanging over a really small scrape, that scrape became like one of the communal scrapes, literally almost overnight. By the following weekend, it was probably 6 foot around, and we had as many as, I think, 9 different bucks hit that. And as an attractant, as we were using, I should know, it wasn't familiar, persimmons. And literally the deer were coming to the persimmons to smell it as well. But that's more of a cover scent. So again, it's one of those products you can use either way. But for the price, again, it's a great stocking stuffer. Now I'm going to move on to a little bit more expensive products. I'm going to go up to optics, right? So if I'm looking for optics, what am I going to buy? Depends on what I'm looking for. For me, I want a pair of optics in every one of my vehicles, every one of my box blinds. I'm going to go with that lower end, and I don't want to say super low end, but that mid price, $250 is a sweet spot. I'm looking at the R5 binoculars from Bushnell. It's a great pair of binocs, can get the glass that you want, magnification power that you want. If you're looking for something more, what's the next step up? Vortex came out with a really cool, it's called the Razor HD, a range finding binoc. Now you're up in the $700 range, but it is a great pair of glass. Plus you're getting a rangefinder, so you don't have to carry it along all the time. And I love that aspect of things. We're going to step back because the boxes are a little bit bigger. Ropes. If you guys know me, you know I am a fan of mock scrapes, particularly ropes. Tinks came out with one they called pre-seasoned, which is literally a rope that they put in their deer farms, so it already smells like a lot of different deer. Literally, the deer will tear it apart. It is amazing how quickly they attract to it. But if you can't find the tinks, Wildlife Research also has a rope. That one they sell as a kit, and it comes with scent that you literally disperse onto the rope. Highly effective as well. I mean, I'm not saying one's better than the other. They're both great products. One product that I love from Wildlife Research, and they're the only ones that really have it, is the scent dripper. Again, it is a communication device. It works with temperature changes, either when the temperature rises or the temperature falls, which is both evenings or early mornings. As the temperature changes, a drop of scent is released out of the units, or a couple drops into your scrape, keeping them fresh all the time. It's super easy to use. They came out with Wildlife with a kit where you can use branches. A great way, again, to enhance what we want to call a buck playground, because it's going to keep those bucks in your area, in those food plots a little bit longer, and just kind of the communication that it does do. It's great a way to check your buck inventory. And if you're checking your buck inventory, what's the next product I'm going to talk about? Trail cameras. Now here, I'm not going to hit one specific. I got the Moultrie at my desk, which is a great camera. There's Tacticam, there's Spy Point, there's Cuddyback, there's Stealth Cam, there's Reconics. What I am going to advise is if you're buying one as a gift for one of your hunting partners or your husband or your wife, know what cameras you're already running. Most of these cameras that are, especially on the cell plans, as you buy more cameras, you get grandfathered in, so they're cheaper. So I don't want to run one of everybody's brands, right? I'd rather run 5 Moultries because it's cheaper, or 5 Tacticams because it's cheaper. So try to look at that. The beauty of cell cameras is the price is getting cheaper and cheaper, and the quality is getting better and better and better. What I like in a camera is the ability for clear photos. I literally still love some of the SD card cameras. Why do I like that? Is because I can put them in places where I have easy access in, and I'm running longer format videos. Why video? If you want to know why I love video, is because you get so much more intel from the video. Like you can have a doe come through, and shortly thereafter the buck comes through. Or if you followed us on social, you saw a case where a fawn went through, and shortly thereafter a wolf came through. So it gives you a more of a story that it tells than just the picture alone. Plus, if you're trying to score a whitetail, you can learn so much more from having the video, because as the deer turns, you see every angle. You can gauge his mass. You can gauge his time length. So, trail camera is a great gift. And right now, there's so many under, $150 to $100 that have great quality cameras. Now, if the guy already has a bunch of cameras, there's one more product out there, and on my desk here, I have Spy Point's solar panel. And they're not the only one that makes them. Almost every one of the brands have a solar panel, and a lot of them are now integrating the solar technology right into the camera themselves. Spy Point, I think, was the first to do it. Moultrie came out with one this year. And what that does is literally it keeps you from buying batteries. And how much is that going to save you? You can look at the solar panel. It's going to cost you probably $50 to $100, right? Well, with us running just, and I'm not even going to say the brand, it's a popular brand. It doesn't really eat a ton of batteries, but we have it in a spot where we want the intel right away. So literally we have that to send updates as soon as the picture is taken, which does eat battery life, but it's also in one of those high traffic areas. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. We've already put 3 different sets of AA batteries into that camera this year, and we've only been running it since probably September 1st around. So I already got, at least $30 in battery. Solar panels on average, I just had some from the early years that went out of their decommissioned, so to speak. They started leaking water. No problem by the manufacturer. I mean, I've had them 5 years. Some of those cameras I've had literally in the field for 5 years. I never touched one of the cameras for over 780 some days. We never even set foot by the camera. So it's doing 2 things. One is saving me a ton of money. So say I spent $100 on that solar panel. That camera is running 24/7 year round, and I've never had to replace batteries, never had to touch the camera. How much money did that save me in the long run? Literally hundreds of dollars. So I'm going to recommend a solar panel.
Deer Talk Now is brought to you by Outdoor Edge and their new Ergomax 6-piece professional grade processing knife set. Take your wild game processing to the next level with this top-tier set, which includes 5 expertly designed knives tailored for every task. Plus, the included 2-stage sharpener ensures your blades stay incredibly sharp no matter the job. For more information, go to OutdoorEdge.com.
The other thing that's really cool, if you want to go back to that stocking stuffer concept, is camera housings or camera mechanisms that hold the camera. Browning has a really cool 2-camera system. What I like about it is you can put the camera on one of the pods, you can put the solar panel on the other, you can face it any which way. The other beauty of that is you could run 2 cameras if you needed to as well, one facing one way, one facing the other way. Now, if you don't want to run 2 cameras in that same spot, Stealth Cam has you covered. They have a camera called the Revolver, which is super, super cool. It literally takes 360 degrees of photos every time it's triggered. And what you're going to realize is, yeah, it's a large number of photos, but the intel that you also get on that is pretty dang cool, because that one deer triggers it, but there may be 5 other deer that are standing off to the side or behind it that you would have never saw with a regular trail camera, including some of those mature bucks. Our own editor fall trapped to that. He was looking at the Revolver photos, only the deer that triggered the image. Meanwhile, I was looking at all the cameras, and there's a really pretty 3-year-old 12 that was running in there. And when he finally stepped in the camera, Dan's like, "Oh, we got a picture of a 12." I was like, we've had pictures of him for weeks. He's always been in the background, and he didn't know it. So if you're going to use a camera like that, really look at all the photos to get the full effect. The other thing is, for mounting brackets, there's some super easy ones that screw into trees. Why I like those is I normally put my cameras in the same spots year after year after year. It's either over established food plots with scrapes, trees that are normally established, or we set up our own 4x4 posts where these deer are coming to it anyway. So it's a great way of maintaining or keeping your camera in the perfect position, because you already know that's where you're going to get the ultimate photos. So again, look at those. Those are great stocking stuffers. Another stocking stuffer, the Deer and Deer Hunting Calendar. If you guys are not familiar with us, we've been doing this calendar for a number of years. How popular is it? We literally have individuals and companies that buy 50 calendars a year from us because they're giving them away to their clients as Christmas gifts. What's really cool is the photography is state of the art. It's Charlie Alsheimer, who's passed away, God rest his soul, but we still use some of his photos, and we support his family by doing so. But it has Charlie's rut predictor, and that's all based off a moon phase. And literally, if you follow it, it's normally pretty much right on. It gives you a rut predictor from the chasing phase to the tending phase to the secondary rut, and it's got a north and south kind of a viewpoint on it. So it is a great way to track the calendar. How popular is it? We literally take calls every single year of a guy in October, and will ask us for the digital month of just November, and they purchase it because they just want to know when they should take vacation. So literally, we've been doing this thing for years and years and years. The next couple products are kind of expensive, so I want to go into it. And I just put a box of ammo on my desk so I'd remind myself that I wanted to bring it up. And that's a firearm. So firearms are popular gifts, especially for kids, youth. But in that hunter in your life, I mean, the straight wall cartridges are getting so popular. This is about 350 Legends. They have the 360 Buckhammer, the 400, the 300 Blackout, the 4570. A lot of these calibers, all straight wall. Why a straight wall? The straight wall is a cartridge that doesn't have the neck down, so it doesn't have the pressure. So therefore, it's a shorter range rifle cartridge. What I like about it is you're still using the bullet technology that is tried and true, and they're great bullets. And these things, the 350 Legend, even though it looks like it's a great big bullet, literally has hardly any kind of kick. I've shot 2 deer with a straight wall. Both died within sight. Both of them probably didn't run over 50 yards. So it's a great caliber. I just was up in Saskatchewan hunting, and there I was using a rifle. But I was talking to their guides about bears, and they said it was a great bear cartridge because it's putting a bigger hole through the animal than a regular rifle. It does a ton of damage. They're getting blood trails. So there's a million uses out of it. What's really cool about it is a lot of states here in the Midwest, Ohio, Illinois, Minnesota, a lot of them that had predominant shotgun seasons are allowing these straight wall cartridges into those seasons or the muzzleloader season. For me personally, and I know there's slug guns that are very good. I know there's muzzleloaders that are very good that can shoot 300, 400, 500 yards, and a lot of those are custom guns. But this gives you the opportunity to buy a gun for as cheap as $500 to $1,000 that literally is a tack driver. It is rifle accuracy, and it's going to give you pinpoint accuracy. Now, some of the states like Illinois have a relatively strange deal where you can only use a single shot. So I don't know what the theory is for the DNR there, because they let you use a pump or a semi-automatic slug gun. You'd think they would do the same with a straight ball wall, but I guess not. They want to, give you a little bit of a challenge. The other thing I want to talk about firearms is scopes for a minute. So a lot of us old timers, and I'm going to count myself in that, once we buy a rifle, we put a scope on it, right? And you probably don't change that scope because we're being a little bit lazy. And like when I go back and I'm looking at my firearms right now that are 20 years old, 15 years old, 10 years old, right? The scopes on there at the time were probably, I've never been the guy that buys $1,000 scopes. I'm just going to tell you, that's not me. I'm kind of cheap. And if it's got decent low light and I could see my crosshairs, great. I've always been, one of those guys. But now the scopes, the $250 to $400 scopes are so good. It's unbelievable what they can do as far as clarity, light gathering capability, you name it. The list goes on, and you can get a lighted reticle. And what I really like about the lighted reticle is that as your eyes age a little bit, right? It's so much easier to get onto that with a little red dot right in the middle, or literally in low light situations, I don't have to worry about not being able to see the crosshairs with my aging eyes. I can literally put that red dot on it, and boom, I have the definition. So I've been in the process of upgrading my optics from, and all the manufacturers. I don't care if it's Bushnell, Burris, Wright, and they all make quality scopes. So find one that suits your needs with the right magnification, and upgrade your scopes is another thing that you can do. The last product that I really wanted to get into, it's bow released, right? Everybody's releasing their new bows. Matthews brought up the Arc, Hoyt brought theirs out, Darton Archery. What I'm going to tell you about that is if you're looking to purchase a bow for your significant other, they're probably pretty brand loyal. Like some guys are Matthews guys, some guys are PSE guys. A lot of times they don't want to switch out of that mix because they're so comfortable, and a lot of the risers kind of feel the same in your hand. But if you don't know what their specs are, find their bow, take a picture of it. All those bows have the specs on it. Go down to your local dealer. If the guy's shooting a Matthews, go check out the Arc. It is a great bow. All the new bows out there are fantastic. What's really different about them, and the Arc's a little bit faster than what the bows were last year, but they're so much more tunable. And it used to be that literally the only thing you could do to tune a bow wasn't you could twist your string, you could change your arrow rest, and that was kind of it. And there's other ways. If you're a bow tech, you could like literally take your bow apart, they add washers. There's a million different. Now they have limb pockets that are flex, so you can move bolts in or out and literally put a little bit of pressure on that cam to straighten it out. There's so many ways to tune your bow and keep it in tune. And why is that important? It's because it delivers more energy to your arrow overall. Plus, it allows the arrow to function properly. Like if your bow's out of tune, you're going to see your arrow whip. A lot of times, when we're shooting at the range, when somebody else shoots, you can identify that right away. It does two things. One, it's going to take a lot of power out of that power stroke of the arrow itself, so you might not get as much penetration. Two, if it's a fixed blade, a lot of times that kick, the arrow just doesn't have enough time to recover. So it's literally really hard for that arrow to hit the same spot every single time. Where if you had that tune, and now it's so easy to do, just read up, try it out, make sure you understand it. Now you can tune it for perfect arrow flight, your bullet holes, all the energy is going right down the center of that arrow, and you can shoot a fixed blade. You can shoot any kind of broadhead that you want, even with bigger blades. Test it out first to make sure everything's flying well. But it is, what you can do with those bows as just a general person is mind-blowing. Now, if the person's got a crossbow, I want to talk. They came out with a new gamut of crossbows, and we can't really get into them because a lot of them haven't released it. But I want to talk about one upgrade for a crossbow that anybody can do that I think would significantly make people more accurate, and that is the range-finding scopes. Garmin has one. Burris has one. They're not cheap. I'm going to be honest, they're not cheap. But what does that do? literally, in my mind, it takes that $300, $400, $500 crossbow and makes it well over a $1,200 weapon, because you're so accurate. Now I don't have to worry about, is that first gap, second gap, third gap, range finding. Literally all I have to do is put the button on it, hit it, and it's going to range find. It's going to drop that dot into the perfect spot. Now all I really have to worry about is wind drift. And wind drift isn't that large on a crossbow because the bolts are small, right? So they don't have as much surface area. Plus, if you're only shooting that 40 yards, they're so fast that you really don't have to worry about wind drift much. Now, they're claiming the ability to shoot at 100 yards, and they're very accurate. There's no doubt about that. But again, if you're shooting at 100 yards, I don't care if your crossbow is shooting 410 to 500, it's going to have some arc. It's going to take, 3/4 of a second to a second to hit that spot. In a second, that deer can move a lot. Now, the beauty of shooting distance, right, with a crossbow, that the sound of the crossbow going off is probably not as big as a factor as what it is when it's closer. So there's that give and take. But my recommendation is keep your range realistic, 50 yards or under. With a range finding scope, you're going to have the ability to take even a cheapest crossbow and make it that much better. Those are my great gift ideas for today. There's other products that are out there that are extremely good, but these are stocking stuffers, everything from the $30 range all the way up to the $1,400 range. So you got a wide base, but a lot of these products as a hunter, if I got them in my backpack or I got them in my stocking, I would be extremely happy to get, because I'm going to use these things on a day in and day out basis. Can't go wrong with knives, can't go wrong with flashlights, can't go wrong with optics. So that's my guide and gift to you, is the ability to get some great gifts for your friends and your family. Check us out next week for another great episode of Deer Talk Now.
The Deer Talk Now podcast is brought to you by Mossberg, Wildlife Research Center, Traditions Firearms, Outdoor Edge Knives, Hoyt Archery, and 10 Point Crossbows.